Now the next thing is, what is 2D array? In shortcut, we have written 2D. It's two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array. So the singular array or the linear array is this. This is one-dimensional array. And then what is two-dimensional array? So to understand two-dimensional array, you should go to the mathematics. Okay. In mathematics, you must have learned about matrices, correct? So two-dimensional array is something like that. Or table. Table is also a two-dimensional array. If I'll talk about, let's say we'll highlight some area. This one. Let's highlight this with thick border outside. And to all border also. So this particular area is some rows and some columns, correct? How many rows are there? Three rows are there, right? How many columns are there? Five columns are there, correct? So this is two-dimensional array where values will be filled row-wise or column-wise. Okay. Now the question is, how we will compare it with this? In one-dimensional array, the data was going like this, here, 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 here. But in two-dimensional array, same thing. The data will go in this way only, but there are multiple rows. So once this row is filled, then the next row will be filled. Then the next row will be filled. It's like this. Okay. Um, Technically, address-wise also, let's say the address of this is, let's assume 2000. So the next, this will be 2004 because every, let's say if it is integer two-dimensional array, every integer value will take 4 bytes. It's like this. It will happen like this. Okay. Then it will be 2012, 2016. This will be 2020, something like that. I'm talking about the address. I'm not talking about the value. Okay. Index. Index. How it will be. So row will have its own index. This is row 0, this is row 1, this is row 2. It's little bit different here now. This is 0th row, this is first row, and this is second row. And this will be 0th column, first column, second column, third column, fourth column, right? So if let's assume I'll put some values here. Let me put some values here. Let's say 67, 23, 45, 99, 0. Then -9, 89, 11, 33, 87. Let's put some value. 0, 9, 8, 5, and 989. Something like this. Now, what is this 33? Okay, this 33. If I want to identify 33, how I will identify? This is basically on first index and third column index. So if I want to identify this value, it will be, let me write here. Let's give a name to this array. Let's say X. So we'll say X of where it is. It is on first row. First means it's actually second row. Index wise, I'm going. Column wise, third. So this X13 will represent 33. Okay. Same thing in mathematics, we have seen, right? Row and column where it will intersect, that value will pick up. Okay. Fine. So this is two-dimensional array. How to declare this? How to declare this? It's same as single dimensional array itself. So I will not go into much detail, just declaration I am going and parsing. I have already created a video about this. You have to go through that. Okay. 2D array demo. I'll declare integer x 2 times bracket. Now, because it's a two-dimensional array, you will put bracket 2 times. Same thing. I'll declare these values, but it will be separated by comma. Okay. And here your first row is completed. Now you are making second row, so it will be like this. Then you are making third row, so it will be like this. Hold on. Yes. Mm, comma will come here. And this value will also be separated by comma. Fine. Done. Why we are doing in this way? Because see here, this is first row. So you have to write it in, as a array. As an array, this is second row, which is again some kind of array. Then there is third row, which is again some kind of array, right? And then this array is closed, right? So if I want to print all these values, I have to use two for loops, and there is a logical reason behind it. Through one for loop is required to change the row number, and one for loop is required to change the column. Okay, so let's assume the number of rows are 3 and number of columns are 5 here. So if I want to print all these values, I'll say for integer g, it, from 0 to g is less than n, which is, let's give a proper name. This is row, this is column. So once it is less than row, and what I have used g, right? G plus plus. So this for loop is to change the rows. Now we'll use another uh, for loop to change the columns. So h is equals to 0. H is less than col h plus plus. And here I'll print what I will print. I will print x of m, no, not n, it's g and h. Okay, x, g, and h. So this will print me all the values one by one. Yeah, it's printing me all the values. See here. But it's not printing in that, way like, okay, first row, second row, third row. So if you want to do it, basically you should change, you should not use print here. You should use println. Instead of println, you use print. And put spaces after that explicitly after each value. And here you just say system.out.println to change the row. So this time, if you will see, it will print in systematic way. See here, all the values are printed. Fine. I'm not going to how it is done. If you'll do it dry run, you will understand that we are, this internal for loop is used to print the column values, right? because once G is constant, you are changing the H. Once column is done, you are coming out of the for loop, going back and now changing the row number. Then again, H will become 0 and you will print the next row. It's like this. I'm not going into detail uh, how it is working and all. We have video about it already. Okay. As per our agenda today, let's talk about string functions now. We can take a break of 2 minutes.